Hello creators, how are you guys? It's great to hang out with you again for another Video Creators Podcast episode where every Tuesday we just dig deep into a topic about helping you guys grow your YouTube audience and your YouTube channels so you can reach people and change their lives. And today the topic we're going to dig into here together is about pitching brand deals, landing brand deals, reaching out to brands, how to land those deals so that you can make and earn the money on your YouTube channel. It's going to make all of your content and your business sustainable so you can continue to reach and serve people. What we're going to do here today is dig into a consultation I did with a creator named John. He has a YouTube channel over at Live Anime Reactions. It's going great for him. He's been growing like crazy, millions of views a month, over 300,000 subscribers, and he is just now getting into that stage with his channel where he's trying to learn some of these things about brand deals and making money and pitching himself and reaching out to brands and where do you find them and how do you land an agent who can handle all this stuff for you and where do you get them and all that kind of stuff. So we're going to dig deep into that here with you guys here today in this podcast. And if you're watching the video of it, there's a link to his channel in the description here, or an interactive card will pop up. Or if you're listening to the audio version of this in iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, Google Play, you can check the show notes and you'll find a link to his channel in the show notes of this podcast episode there as well. So let's dive into it together and learn how to pitch, sell, create, and do brand deals around our YouTube channel.
Hi, Tim. My name is John. I run Anime Live Reactions. And what got me into YouTube, first, I had a dance channel. I'm a big dancer. I was on television dancing, so that's kind of what I wanted to pursue. But I'm also really into anime. And one of the YouTubers I followed, he was blowing up. And he is such a nice guy and was just doing what he loves. And I told myself, I think I can contribute to this genre or this category. I think I have something unique that I can contribute. So, why not give it a try? So I did it for fun. And within a week, I had like 100 subscribers, and in a few weeks, I had 1,000. So I was like, wow, like people really like the content. People, there is something I can do with this. Yeah, that's kind of how it started.
You probably make them feel like, what? 100 in a week, 1,000? Wrong with you? Yeah, no, that's awesome. Give you.
And a lot of it really was me just understanding my competition, understanding the audience, and understanding my skills and what I could contribute and whether people will want to watch or not. So it's been a learning process.
Yeah. So what are some of your goals for it going forward in the future? Where do you want to take this thing?
Honestly, I would love to not just do it full time, but also employ other people to work for under the brand. Right now, I work with independent freelancers who do either thumbnails for me, who do music, sometimes voiceovers. Like I work with John Bailey, and he does some voiceovers for me and different people. But I would love to employ people full time and turn it into like an actual business. Yeah, that's the goal.
I love how you're thinking. That's the exact right way to think about this stuff.
So I don't know if it's possible to send you a link through here.
Chat. You can click on the chat and send it to me.
Yeah.
Your graphic, your infographic?
Yeah. I've updated it. And
we got a new one. Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, it's just with updated information. Okay. But I can send you that now. Let me go ahead and send you that.
It's a cool way to do it. Most people make media decks. I've never seen someone pitch their channel as an infographic before. So this is kind of interesting. It's creative. I like it.
What are media decks?
Media deck. It's like a slide presentation of basically what you're doing in here, but instead of making an infographic, it's over the course of maybe 8 slides, something like that.
Oh,
here's our stats, what we're all about, next steps, that type of thing for a brand.
Right.
Quickly get an overview of your channel and why they want to work with you.
Yeah, I did it because I figured I wanted brands to have an easy one-pager way to see my information. Yeah. But okay, I got the link here and copy, and now let me send that over to you, chat. Okay. Paste. Okay. So this has the most updated information.
Okay.
Based on July analytics. So 9 million views, 300,000 followers. I have the 71% mobile, desktop. It's 95% male. Half of my viewership is from the US. and the majority of my viewership is between 18 and 34 years old. My watch time is 41% of the video. And according to Social Blue Book, my average view per video is 198,000 views.
Mm-hmm.
According to
that across your entire channel, or is that past 30 days?
Of 30 days.
Past 30 days, okay.
I believe so. Social Blue Book. We also have I have a section about our Facebook, and in terms of pricing. So I changed it since last time I sent it to you, because we did a brand integration with Quid, and it did well for them. They got a lot of views, a lot of traffic, clicks, but it was kind of long for my subscribers. I pretty much did a 45-second brand integration in the beginning, and then a 45-second like halfway through the video.
I actually have notes. When I was watching your channel before we got on, I made some notes about how that went. It was really jarring.
You saw.
What's going on here? That's totally different, off topic now. Oh.
So I'm trying to find a balance. So I reduced the price, the asking price, and I also reduced the time, the length, which what I have right now, it's a rate 1,000 and length 30 seconds within the first 2 minutes.
Yeah, gotcha. And did you take off that guarantee that you used to have?
I think I did.
Okay, good.
Is this not typically a good idea?
Well, let's just walk through the whole thing here, what you got here. So 7 reasons why brands love to work with us based on July YouTube analytics. So you start this off by giving numbers, stats, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
If you want people, these are, how do I say this? Brand deals like this are rarely, I shouldn't say rarely, they're not solely analytical decisions. They're emotional decisions that humans are making. And what gets people to really love you more rather than coming out with like your stats is instead you want to pitch yourself based on your story, who you are, who your channel is, like what your channel is doing, the difference it makes in life, like the mission that you have. You want brands are more likely to, if it's just about stats, there's tons of other channels that have better stats than you. I'm not saying that to, not
right.
Just like if you just want to compete on stats, you're going to lose a lot of the time. Now you do have a specific audience, but that doesn't come till later. The first thing I would say is this is who I am. This is my story. This is what we're all about on my channel. And get like this person who's going to decide whether or not to give you a couple $1,000. Do I like this person? Is this the type of content I like, the type of person I want our brand to be associated with? So I would start with that. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So you do kind of have like this commitment thing down at the bottom instead, but that's like more about like, a guarantee. Instead, I'm thinking, and you have like this difference thing here, kind of towards the bottom too. But instead, just like a little bit about you, like who are you? Like, you shared a little about your story when we first got started, and that's why I often like to hear the story, because that helps me understand you, like how you're thinking and where you're going, and why, why would a brand want to work with you, that type of thing.
Right.
So start with the story, and then you can get into your stats, because those are important. I'm not downplaying them, but get some of the human emotion stuff going first. And then, 9 million monthly views, 300,000 followers. I would change that to subscribers, because you're subscribers.
Okay.
Yeah. Change that and make it clear that you're talking YouTube here, and not like your Facebook stuff and your Instagram and your, Twitter. Like this is, here, let me give you an example.
Right.
I have, it's old, super outdated, but I have a draft version of an old media deck that I use on my family's channel. I'll give you the link here.
And also, hopefully, maybe you can give me your personal evaluation as to whether I'm undervaluing myself or overvaluing. I know Social Blue Book says for a shout out, the minimum I should charge is like 6,600. But
They're saying you should do 6,000.
The same for suggested price is 12,000 per upload, but for like a shout out, 6,000 is what Social Blue Book says. But that's obviously I just use that as like a reference, but not necessarily how I base it.
Yeah. Hold on a second here. I'm getting you this link. There you go. There's my in the chat. There, it's my sample deck, just so you can kind of see what I did. And there's not like a right or wrong way to do this, but you can see what I mean. There is the cover.
Oh yeah.
It's like, okay, this is who I'm working with. A little bit about our story, our mission, and so a lot of brands are like, oh, okay, these are family friendly people. And then I chose, most people don't do this, but then I added some comments from YouTube people that reinforce like we're actually accomplishing our mission.
Right.
Reaching people, changing lives. You don't have to do that, but I just really want to reinforce that because that's what's most important to my wife and I. And we don't work with brands who aren't on board with this type of thing.
Right.
Then you can see I get into demographics. I'm not really into stats yet. I'm kind of more, I want to show them like this is, I'm focusing on people. Here's our story, so people, and then here's the people we're reaching, their stories through the comments I added, and then here's a little bit more information about who these people are. Demographic, gender, female millennials is kind of the buzz term that a lot of brands are looking to work for in our type of channel niche. And you can see the demographic stuff there. And then I kind of break up social reach, which is kind of overall. You can see as YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter all combined. Mm-hmm. And there are now stats on Instagram. So this is like out of date. So you can do this better. But and then I have like engagement. So like, okay, well, how do I know not all those views are paid for? You're saying you got 9 million views a month. That's awesome. But like how many of those are paid? Or are they all just like bots, or are they like engaged viewers? Because that's what really brands want to be in front of, is an engaged audience. Right. So that's the next slide then is social engagement, which is showing, here's where we, I forget what exactly, I just called it social interactions with their content. Mm-hmm. And I think I included everything from like likes to comments to shares. Anything that like would require like that elicited a reaction or response from a viewer when they were watching.
Right. And you would update this maybe once a month, once every 2 months?
Yeah. I mean, this draft version is, from last year, over a year old now, but I guess I tend to update it whenever like I'm sending it to a brand that I really want to work with. I'll update it to maybe the previous month's stats or something like that, just to keep it updated. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely see mine needs much more work.
Bad. You're already like most people don't even have anything. I'm just kind of helping you refine how you present the info that's in what you have. Just get a little bit more palatable, making people like, oh, I like these guys. Man, these kids, this is like, they're doing some awesome stuff here. Like, they sound like they're solid people. I would want to work with these people.
I also see you don't include a pricing on the...
I was going to get to that for you. Yeah. The next thing here is I have some example brands, which you have on yours, but you're just sharing logos of brands you've worked with. I would consider maybe linking to some of those examples, and I don't have it here, but another solid thing that you could do is have testimonials from those people. Like, yeah, I loved working with him because, he was very professional and over the top, and we didn't even ask for the Instagram promotion. He added that at no extra charge, or maybe you don't want people saying that, but just like basically he went above and beyond what we expected, that type of thing. And getting some testimonials in there. And you could put that, you can see where I have like a brand integration example. I have 3 of them in my deck. Just some highlights of what the brand was hoping to accomplish, what the actual end result was, a link to the video, a little description about what that integration was about. But you could also add like a testimonial slide or onto that own slide as well.
Right.
And then at the end, it's the next step. So here's what you're doing next. You can contact me. And the reason I have that is, and not the price, is because more than once I pitched a brand a price and they're like, that's it? Like, dang it, I should have went higher. Or Or it's they get sticker shock and they don't contact you at all because of it, because it's way outside their range. But if you had a conversation with them first and they kind of got to hear you, you got to hear them and what their goals are, and then you could be like on the fly, be like, you know what, like normally I do like a total brand integration for X amount of dollars, but I think what would serve you guys best is actually this other thing for this amount, maybe something less. And so you don't just lose them based on price and they're evaluating in their heads automatically, is this worth it or not worth it?
Right, right. Yeah, the way I was pricing my model is the goal is long-term sponsorships where they buy in package. So if they buy, like, let's say 5 brand integrations at once, then they'll get a discount, right, and rather instead of getting one.
Yep, I do that too, and that's a good way to do that. I just don't put like numbers in front of them. I don't think when you're at this level. Get them on the phone and hear, like, actually hear what they're trying to do. What are they trying to accomplish? And otherwise, you send this to them and they don't contact you either because this is way too cheap, he probably can't deliver, or this is way too expensive, I can't afford this.
What are your thoughts on what I'm offering for looking into the analytics, like the views and, you know, the style and that sort of stuff? You think $1,000 for 30 seconds is kind of on the low average of what you're seeing out there?
Well, that's a hard question to answer because so many channels are different, audiences are different, the type of brands you work with are different than, you know, other channels. But how many brand deals have you done so far? Just ballpark, doesn't have to be exact, an idea.
I say maybe 5.
5.
Yeah,
paid?
I think, yeah, 5 paid. Yeah.
Paid. Okay. And did you get somewhere similar to around the same price for each of them?
Yeah, they won last year when I was much smaller, and that was like maybe like 1,500.
Okay.
For the most part, I've done down to 700, 500 for lower performing videos.
Right.
But now that was before when
after the deal.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, a lot of them do it after the deal, and back then my channel was mixed with a lot of anime, and so I decided to focus it on just Dragon Ball. And now my videos, for the most part, the average view count is much higher now because every video is not like 100,000 views. It's not a huge mix.
The risk with that, of course, is if the show goes off the air, or I saw your video about how Sony bought them, or, you know. So you're putting all your eggs in one basket. It could be kind of risky from a channel perspective. But
yeah, I do want to have. I do plan on having more channels though, because I have other skills.
Good. So the way I do it is, if you've done 5 deals at around a certain price, you know, the next deal, your channel's growing, you raise the price, you know. And so let's say you did that one for 1,500. The next one's going to be just try 2,000. The other way to do it too is pitch high, and you can always come down, but you can't go up, you know. So like I did actually fell through. I did all the work on my end except for publishing the video, and they backed out on their end because of some internal politics stuff at their company. And I remember when I pitched that one, I pitched pretty high because they were looking for some pretty custom stuff. That's the other reason why you want to talk to them before giving them a price, because sometimes you'll come up with a different idea that you've never done before, or something that'd be a much bigger value add. For example, with one, it was also going to include a lot of free consulting sessions with me, like we're doing right here. To make those available as a part of this sponsorship. But that, if I had just pitched them a price right off the bat, you know, the price would have been way off. And, you know, so I like to like talk with them, customize it, but I pitched them a price and they didn't blink an eye. They were like, oh yeah, absolutely. And they didn't back out because they were kind of like, we are already sold on this. It's going to be awesome. And they were expecting like 10,000, you know, I think, I don't know. But then I told them the price and they were just like totally all in on it. And they made it an easy yes.
Wow.
So in your case, let's say, if most of them are around 1,500, your case, I would say you're like twice as big though now as you were then, right?
Yeah, twice as big and more consistent with my views now.
Yeah, I would say try 5,000. And if it doesn't work and they're like, heck no, be like, well, what kind of budget range are you guys working with? Let's see if we can like figure something out here together. Would love to work with you guys. And sometimes I just really want to work with a brand. I lower my price sometimes because like they are just like, this would be perfect for my audience. I would love to promote them. I would probably do it for free, because I just love these guys type of thing. And, and so it's like, okay, well, what kind of budget are you working with? Like, can we make something else work?
Right. Yeah, maybe that's a good way I can approach it. What is your budget? And
so if they're like $5,000 and you're like, okay, well, normally I do 2 shout outs, but if I understand 5,000 is too high for you guys, we could just do one at the end for like 3,000 instead. Would that work better for you guys?
Right.
And, okay, that would work better.
That would work better. Now, I've been primarily using FameBit, and FameBit it's a tough. Well, now that my channel is bigger, I've been getting more responses than before. But people have limited budgets there for the most part, and some big brands there. But what I want to do is I want to end up reaching out to companies who aren't necessarily on FameBit, and big companies that are paying a lot of money for Facebook and YouTube advertisement and could probably pay a little bit less towards it, like for somebody like me, and get an actual influencer like recommendation, like Sony, Microsoft, that sort of stuff. So what is your recommendation for how I approach them? Should I reach out to their marketing department? How should I structure my email inquiry?
Yeah, that's a good question. So the way I do it is I try a few different avenues. And the main ones when I'm reaching out to a brand that I want to work with is I look at their website, of course. There's a contact. Sometimes they have media requests, or some even more of them having influencer contact forms on their website, which is obviously the perfect one for you to use. I actually just landed a deal last month, and the video will now go up on on my family's channel this coming or next week, actually, as of this recording. That it would be I reached out to them through their website, through their influencer contact form, and worked out great. I hope it works out just as well for them as it is for us. And it will. But
positive.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. It's a perfect. I think it's like a perfect fit. But anyway, so that one was through the website. Another time we were going to a hotel, and we're like, hey, we're going to stay at this hotel anyway. It's going to be in our video. So in that case, there wasn't an influencer thing on the website, but I was able to find on LinkedIn the CMO, which is Chief Marketing Officer, for marketing directors, and reach out to them on LinkedIn instead. And that's been hit or miss for me, but it's usually been about 50-50 whether or not they respond. And I'll show you how to pitch those places here in a second. But just go first is website, LinkedIn. I've also had successes with Twitter, like an amusement park or something. Like I would look at their Twitter feed first of all. Are they engaging with people? Are they just broadcasting, or has it been inactive for 2 years? And if they're doing a lot of @replies to people who are following them, then I'll reach out there. And sometimes that'll turn into a direct message conversation, or other times they'll just send me the link of where I should submit my request, that type of thing.
Right.
So, and then the other way it happens is I don't really know exactly how this works, but somehow my email address is on some promotional list of. It always comes directly from the person. It's not like a FameBit mass mailing or something like that. It's coming directly from the person. So my info is out there somewhere. As a YouTube creator, I should just write one of them back sometime and be like, where'd you get my contact info? And they're like, hey, we heard you're a great person to work with. And after you start doing a few of these, like your reputation starts to go around. And I guess at different marketing events, maybe they start one brand's like, yeah, we did the gig with Tim, it went well. So how it worked on, but everyone who heard them say that now reaches out, and that type of thing. So kind of like before long, they start coming to you. And I would say for me, at video creators, almost all of those deals are ones that just come to me. And at Schmovies, I'd say it's about most of the ones I go out and get.
That you go out and get, right? and even as a small channel, because I'm planning on starting 2 more channels. One is a gaming channel to see how that goes, and a tech review channel because I'm very good with technology.
Yeah,
and
I like your background, by the way. It's like looks all professional. Like, yeah, you have a good tech show going on pretty quickly, I bet.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, the background.
A good voice and on camera personality too. I was watching your videos. Like, I don't even watch or care about anime, but like, I want like, what's gonna happen? I don't. You're so excited. I'm like, I don't really know what he's excited about, but I just kind of need to watch.
Yeah, I get excited. Hopefully my excitement can translate to other people and get them excited too. That's the goal, you know, smiles and
again, that comes down to human connection in your videos, and that makes a bigger difference in like what tags you use here and there, you know. But
right. Yeah, so I definitely will work on that. Okay, so for my new channels that I'm going to be starting, tech, gaming, for those channels, do you recommend that I also kind of reach out to companies and try to get either like product reviews, free of charge, try to get sponsorships at a very, very low rate just to get my foot in the door?
Not when you're first starting, I wouldn't say. And this isn't like hard and stone type of advice. It's just like the way I would do it is I would want to grow those channels for a little while, get some data under my belt, start building that relationship with the audience, and start seeing how things perform and don't perform, and like let's just get that channel going. Absolutely keep AdSense enabled, of course, but
right.
But as far as doing deals, I would probably, like, let's say you grow to 100,000 subscribers in like 6 months and you've got enough data, you've kind of have a good solid understanding, then yeah, I'm not saying like a year is like a magic number or 6 months is a number. It just kind of depends. But right. I guess I would want to put all my energy into getting this thing going and humming and like just like optimize and everything first before I just start like doing the deal thing. So the kind of the template I use is one, it's gotta be personal. Like you just can't like human concern. Like if you look up on LinkedIn, you find their name, like make it personal to that person. If it's through the website, you can't personalize it. You still make it feel like you're talking to a human, you know, which would be like, I just love your product, you know, like, for example, there's this indoor climbing set I wanted for my kids. And it was a set that I used to play on when I was a little kid. So when I sent the email, I attached a photo of me 6 years old climbing on the 1980s version of that climbing set, right? Like I was like, I love you guys. Like this is awesome. I personalized it. I would love to feature you guys in your video, in my video. Usually pretty quickly there in the beginning, like, it's like, don't make it a long message, you know, just like 2 paragraphs, maybe 3. But the idea is to get in touch with the right person. So don't do your whole pitch right there, like your ideas you could do and things like that. Instead, like I sent one yesterday to a resort that we want to stay at when we're traveling here next month. And it was like, hey, we used to live in that town, which is true. We lived there for 5 years. We used to live in that town. We're coming back for a wedding, and we stayed at your resort before. It was awesome. We really love it. Now we are full-time YouTube creators. We're reaching over 1 million people a month, you know, type of thing. Just like over 1 million a month, like that. Just this one quick stat that kind of captures people's attention a little bit. So I'm not going to give them a ton like of things, but in your case, you know, I'm reaching over 9 million people a month on my YouTube channel, and I just love what you're doing. I'd love to see if there's a way we can figure out how to, you know, how do I say it? Not like, I wonder if there's a way that you could give me money. No, it's like
free hotel.
Like figure out if there's a way. Like I would love to feature you in one of my videos, and would love to talk with you about, you know, how we could do that, something along those lines. And then I will attach my media deck to it, or in your case, your infographic to it, and say, look, there's more information about us and our channel linked in this media deck below. And then I might give like 1 or 2 quick ideas, which is like for the resort one, It's like, I think that your resort, like we would love to tell the story that your resort is a great place for families to go when they're traveling and just get away for a little bit and have some quiet time. Or if you could give me a room for my brother who lives in the area, we'd love to tell the story. This is a great place for families to go on a retreat together and build relationships. Just kind of set the vision for, this is the story I want to do for you. This is like what it's going to look like as a part of our videos. So not details, whatever, but then go from there. So personalized intro, and then quick stat that would kind of like hook their attention. And your kids, that's easy. And then why you love them, why you want to work with them, and like an idea of how you feel like this is a perfect integration for your content, and then point them to your media deck and then ask them to follow up. Like, don't just say like, I hope this works out, but I look back from hearing from you soon. Like that. Then you include your phone number if you'd like in there. Things like that. Now, what I consider if you want to turn this into a team. Well, first of all, that makes sense. Any questions about that?
Nope, it totally makes sense. Yes.
So the thing that I do now, and this might sound bad, but this is, to be honest, is I have a guy on my team who is in charge of brand partnerships. And what he does, he's just strictly commission. I give him 30% for any deal that he brings to the table, and he gets 15% for any deal that I bring to the table. And then he negotiates and does, all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. The good part about having like an agent or someone like that is that they can often pitch you better without making so if I did it, I'm like when I've heard him pitch me to other people and he makes me sound awesome. Things about me that I would never say about myself because it would just be seen as being cocky and prideful, and this guy has no sense of humility, that type of thing. I usually don't brag the type of brands I've worked with, Fortune 100 companies, things like that, just because it feels to me like it's too much.
Right.
But when he does it, he makes me sound amazing, and it doesn't. And then the reverse is also true. It's just like having that buffer between you and the brand is sometimes good, because what he also does is he can say that's not going to work with we're going to need like twice as much as that. Whereas to me, it kind of makes me look like the bad guy if I'm the one playing hardball sometimes. But the brand's perception of me stays intact with this middle guy pushing like, no, you're going to have to charge more, or yes, we can do that, but it's going to cost this much instead of that much. And he can do that on my behalf without it reflecting poorly on me.
And how do you find these people? Do you go to like an agency or you knew someone?
Before yet. In my case, is a friend of mine in Cincinnati who works with brands all the time for his real job. And I just happened to ask him, like, would you be able to like pitch my channel to brands? Would it make sense for you to do so? You think it'd be good? And he's like, yeah, absolutely. It wouldn't be a problem at all. He's like, he's working and talking to these brands anyway. So if he thinks my channel would work well, he just brings me up and just take care of it that way. Right. So it's not his full-time gig with me, but it's worked out well for both of us. So that's how that one worked for me. I do have like tons of business cards. Even I'm looking at some of them right now, like just sitting here on my desk. But they're not people I've actually worked with and don't know if I would actually recommend.
Right. So, yeah, I mean, if you ever have any recommendations, I mean, I'll be definitely happy to talk to them.
I'm waiting for a good recommendation of someone I know. So I'm looking at these cards for a talent agent right now who works with some Hollywood A-list celebrities. In fact, this one right here is the wife of an A-list celebrity.
Wow.
Talk with her. And so she manages her husband and a lot of other celebrities that work with her husband. Mm-hmm. But like, I have no idea if they can help you with YouTube stuff,
Right.
Or if they do, I don't know what the terms are going to be for you. I don't know how well they're going to take it. So that's what I'm saying. I don't know. I don't have a good answer to that yet.
Right.
I guess I could get them off call and talk about it, but
sure. I mean, if you ever have time, I'm not gonna overstep my boundaries.
I mean, as I'm working with creators like yourself who are kind of about to transition or who have, and they're looking for someone like that to partner with. The place to meet them is you go to like VidCon or YouTube events like that.
I haven't gone before, no.
Okay, if you get to go, those people are often hanging out in the industry lounge, like at VidCon, or they're at a lot of the after, like the evening parties and stuff, the private parties that happen. And so if you can get yourself to a certain level, get yourself invited, or know someone who can get you invited, wink, wink. Then that's often where those types of people are hanging out, and
right.
And then you get to meet them and then talk with them personally, and so that's where I've met everyone. Every talent agent I've met so far, I've met at one of those places so far.
Right.
And yeah. Anyway, sorry, make a short story long for you.
Yeah, I mean, definitely I would like to go one day. I know Roberto Blake goes a lot to these events, and you're there a lot.
Yeah. I hanging out a few days ago, actually, at one of them.
Right. Yeah, I remember you guys did a live stream where it was like 3 of you or 4 of you.
Yeah, me.
And it was Inception.
Yeah, Roberto, that's that social media marketing world.
Yeah. That was fun. Well, I really appreciate your time. Took your time to meet with me and give me some great advice. Really appreciate it.
Yeah. It's good meeting you. Is there, I have like 2 minutes before I gotta grab something for my next call. Is there anything else we didn't hit that you wanted to make sure we hit?
No, I think we hit the things that I wanted to cover, and definitely your advice is gonna be very helpful for me.
Good. Well, I hope you make it, man. I'm confident that you will. You've got a lot of great stuff going for you, and you can start branching off into other channels. The only other thing I was thinking that I might suggest, and I'm sure you've thought of this before, is the brand deals thing. That's a fine way to go. At the end of the day, though, you're just selling other people's stuff for them. And the only way that works is if a brand's going to get more money from your audience than they paid you. So if they pay you $5,000 for a deal, they're expecting to make 20, 30 grand off of your audience. The way I think about it is if my audience has 20, 30 grand, rather than me taking 5,000 of it, like what if I just created my own products and things to sell to them, that then I don't have to go from brand deal to brand deal to brand deal, that type of thing. I could just constantly integrate my own stuff into it, and things that I've made for them that I'm confident in, that I know will serve them well, and know will change their life, and things like that. So
right.
Product development might be something to think about in the future for you as you.
Absolutely. I'll take note of that. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Good meeting you.
Yeah, same. Have a good rest of the day.
Okay. See ya.
Bye-bye.
A few quick things before I let you go. Number one, if you want links to any of the stuff that we mentioned here in this consultation with John, whether that be links to my media deck sample you want to download, or to John's infographic, whatever, you can find those in the show notes of this episode, whether it's the description below this video on YouTube, or the show notes on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Stitcher, or Google Play. So go check that out. Number two is you guys have been telling me a lot that you want to learn a lot more about doing brand deals. And some of the things I've talked about with John, you have other questions about, and you want to take deeper in some ways. So if that's you, I would love for you guys to either comment on this video here on YouTube, or if you're listening on SoundCloud, iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, tweet me at Tim Schmoyer is my Twitter handle. Tweet me there and ask me your questions, and what other things would you love to learn more about with brand deals, and what questions did this spark? I'm going to take a lot of your feedback you guys are going to provide. I'm going to continue to use that to generate content for you guys about how to land brand deals and how to make money on YouTube using the audience that you're developing. So I'm looking forward to hearing all your feedback, all of your comments, all of your suggestions, and all of your ideas. And if this is your first time here, number 3 is the last thing, is I would love to invite you to subscribe to this podcast. We got new episodes for you every Tuesday, just revolving around how do you grow your YouTube audience and build a business around it. We've got an amazing community over at patreon.com/video creators. If you want to join us over there, those people are helping support content like this for you guys, as well as, we talk about things like this every month in our private hangout calls where we jump in those things together. and together we just answer questions like this that we have for that the group has for each other, and a forum, private forum. We got monthly guest expert trainings about this type of stuff. So if you really want to take this seriously, go to the next level with your channel, your audience development, and the business you're forming around it, and the brand deals that you're doing, check it out, patreon.com/video creators. But in the meantime, subscribe here at iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, Google Play, YouTube for new podcast episodes coming for you guys every Tuesday. And I look forward to hanging out with you guys again next week. See you then. Bye.